stumble down highways or filthy overcrowded trains. There's no one to talk to in transit. Just sit there and daydream in vain. And behind all these muddled up problems of living on a foreign soil, I can still see the twists and turns in the road, the square to the town and the trains. And I wish I was on that N17. Don't walk in the grasses. Yes, I wish I was on that N17. Don't walk in the grasses. I'd be traveling with just my thoughts and dreams. Oh, traveling with my thoughts and dreams. Do-do-do-do-do. I'd be traveling with just my thoughts and dreams. Yes!
Fair play to you, lads. Fair play to you. Somebody said that was like the Irish version of Route 66.
Yeah, that's it. That's
Isn't
the one,
it?
yeah,
Literally.
I think so, yeah, I think so.
Leo, introduce us to the band for anybody at home who doesn't know who's who.
Davy Carton,
Lead singer.
lead singer. Terrible man to go to a football match with. Pierce Doherty from Carndonagh.
And his Bobby's here and all the family are here.
Shopkeeper's son from Carndonagh. John Donnelly from Roscommon.
This is like the old stepfather, you know?
Yeah, aromatherapist, John Donnelly. Derek Murray from Mount Charles in Donegal. The best guitar player in the band, Derek. So we don't let him play it too often.
That's why he's on keyboards
Yeah,
on the bus.
exactly.
And on saxophone.
And this is Anthony Thistlethwaite.
Well, you're all very welcome.
And he's a farmer's son from Leicestershire.
Leo, people tend to think of you, or Davy even, that you're a tune band, you sing songs about Tuam and about the west of Ireland, but you've actually been all over the world at this stage, haven't you?
Yeah, people said I remember people saying that music wouldn't travel because it was too kind of, you know, homegrown as such. But we've been all over the world. Music has brought us to Canada, America, all over Europe, and even down as far as Australia.
What were the favourite venues for you along the way?
Well, my own personal favourite gig was probably the West of Wakeman in Tuam, bringing I think about 10,000 people came in to the town, and we set up this tent in the Tuam Stadium and played our home gig. It was great.
And were most of those
Fantastic.
people who actually came home for the occasion, were they all locals?
Well, a lot of people travelled as well, though. A lot of people travelled from all over, like from the UK and everything, came to see it.
Pierce, how about yourself? What was your favourite to date?
Favourite concert?
Yeah.
Definitely the Albert Hall.
The Albert Hall. See when they drop it in. When we play the Albert Hall. In fact, you played the Albert Hall very recently.
That's true, yeah.
Massive crowd.
Yeah.
Great reception.
I even brought my mother and father over to it. They were delighted.
Well,
They're
it's a
young
long
fellas
way
up
from the
there.
Scout Hall in Tuam, we have to say. And we have it on film for our audience at home and here in studio as well. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a look at the Saw Doctors in concert at London's Royal Albert Hall.
Factory house outside the town. Pretty name I can't remember. Christmas party 77. Happy like an earthly tremor. Forever and ever. First love stays with you forever. Forever and ever. First love stays with you forever and ever.
All right, it's very impressive, but there's no point in just having the gig on film. We decided we needed a spy in the camp. Somebody would go along to the concert for us. It's a tough job. I know all of you would have loved it. But anyway, Fiona Looney was the woman who did it. Good evening, Fiona Looney in London.
Good evening, Carrie.
So what was it like?
Oh, well, it was fantastic. You know, I think we tend to associate the Royal Albert Hall with last night of the proms, and we see all these Union Jacks hanging over the balconies and people swaying and dancing. Well, if you like, this was last night of the Paddy proms, because people were swaying and dancing, and there were Galway flags hanging over the balcony. which I think might have been sacrilege. I'm not sure, but it was fantastic, it really was. And from the time the band came on stage, the first song they did was To Win Just Once. And I think they were giving a little clue there as to the theme of the evening, because it really was a celebration of A, the Saw Doctors, B, of being Irish, but particularly on the night that was in it, of Galway winning the All-Ireland final. And I never thought I'd say that I was happy to see another county besides Dublin winning the All-Ireland, but you couldn't but be delighted with what went on that night. It was fantastic.
How about the people, Fiona, who weren't from Ireland, and specifically who weren't from Galway? How did they react when the Sam Maguire came on?
There must have been some, you know, that's my theory. There must have been some people there who were not from Galway. I mean, I know I'm not from Galway, but everybody was delighted. And the way they did it was, you know, they sang a song particularly about Galway having won the match towards the end. And they brought on Sam Maguire. And I mean, anyone who's Irish knows how important Sam Maguire is. And I think everyone was just so delighted. It was a complete surprise, of course. And I think everyone was just so delighted for the Galway people, the emigrants, who, let's face it, aren't going to get a chance to see the Sam Maguire in Galway this year. So it was very moving, I have to say.
Was your infant moved by it, Fiona? We have to tell the public you brought a 1.5-year-old little girl to the Saw Doctors.
You're not meant to mention that, Carrie. They'll take her off me.
I think she wasn't home alone.
Do you know what? She had a great time. It was the first gig she ever went to, and I've actually kept the ticket for her because she clapped along with every song, and she fell asleep, believe it or not, and I used to love her, but that was the last song of the whole night. So it's not bad going.
Were you a Saw Doctors fan before we sent you to it? Be honest.
I was.
You were anyway.
I've always liked the band, yeah. I mean, it's funny when I heard you saying there about people said at the beginning the music wouldn't travel. But you know, I think the Saw Doctors actually play more authentic folk music than anyone else. And that includes your Bruce Springsteens and, you know, anyone else who's sort of going along talking about singing songs of the people. I mean, there's so many songs that you listen to that the Saw Doctors play and you go, yeah, I remember doing that, or I did that, or there was a fella like that lived down the road from me. And that's folk music, you know, it's not sticking your finger in your ear and going diddly-eye and the famine was terrible. You know, this is contemporary folk, and of course it travels. You know, people have their hearts broken all over the world, and people play football all over the world, and that's why the Saw Doctors will always travel all over the world.
Fiona, you've just got a free pass yourself and your daughter to every Saw Doctors concert for the next 10 years. Listen, thanks a million for going along to it and for talking to us tonight.
Thanks a lot, Carrie.
I give you 20 quid.
Cheerio. Fiona Looney in London.